Welcome to the first episode of the Steam Kitchen. I'm Ian.
And I'm Mike.
Today we're going to make toffee apple upside down cake.
My tummy's rumbling already. So don't forget that each recipe that we bake will be available as a digi-download from our website, and there's a clickable link in the description area below.
Okay, let's get baking.
Ingredients you are going to need for this bake are 3 eggs, 60 grams of brown sugar, 3 medium-sized apples, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence, 125 grams of butter, 180 grams of caster sugar, 150 grams of self-raising flour, 40 grams of plain all-purpose flour and 60 millilitres of milk.
Well, my friend Karen has given me a present to start the channel with. It is an apron. She was my friend. Baking queen. Really, Karen? Well.
Very appropriate.
Yes, I'm going to get my own aprons along the line, but this will do for now. Thank you, Karen.
Right, I've come behind the camera now because I don't want covering in ingredients.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so step 1. We need a round tin.
Okay.
I've got a loose bottom, so's the tin.
Mrs.
The size of the tin is an 8-inch, 20cm tin.
Very good.
It's non-stick already, but I want to make doubly sure that the cake doesn't stick.
That's very wise.
So I'm going to use...
Glue?
No, not glue, some sellotape. No, I'm going to use baking parchment or baking paper.
Okay.
It comes in either a sheet form or a roll.
Yes.
This I've got here is a roll.
Yes. That looks like wrapping paper.
It does, doesn't it? But I wouldn't wrap presents in it, you see straight through it.
No.
Okay, so I've already cut myself an 8-inch, 20cm circle.
Okay. Did you do that by hand?
Actually, I took the base of the tin out, laid it on top of the tracing paper, then cut it a little bit short around the edge.
Top tip.
Top tip.
There you go. Don't try and do it
Oh
freehand.
no, don't. You'll end up with an egg or God knows what. So that's that. So we also need to line the outer edge of the tin.
The circumference.
The circumference. That's
So how are you going to measure that?
Okay, so I've used, you can either use a flexible tape measure.
Well, first of all,
Yes.
you can use complex math.
No, you can't. You can use a flexible tape measure or a piece of string.
That's what we like.
So I've used a piece of string and I've wrapped it round. I've opened it back out and I've measured it. And as such, I have
The right length.
the right length. Okay, it's a bit wibbly wobbly, but it doesn't matter.
Right. Who needs complex math?
No, piece of string. String theory.
Exactly. I like
So
it.
I've measured also from the base of the tin to the top. And in this case, it's 5.5 centimetres.
So just over 2 inches.
Yeah, but it depends how deep your tin is.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I need to put this round the edge.
Okay. So how are you going to get it to stick?
Well, I didn't know until Mum said at Christmas when we made this, use butter.
The wisdom of the wise.
So I'm going to bring in some butter.
So this must be no slight on Mum. This must be an old time.
I think it is.
Tip.
So I've got some cooking spread.
Okay.
Be careful how you say that.
Cooking spread. Yes.
So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit, my hands are clean, I'm just going to put a little dollop around the tin just so it sticks. So we've got there we are.
Like blobs of glue.
It's like, well, exactly what it is. So then what we do is we just put, it's inclined to roll back up on itself.
Yes.
So we put one end there, and then we roll it gently around the tin. And the butter also helps to stop it sticking to the tin. Because of course when it's in the oven,
It's going to melt.
it's going to melt.
Because it's a hot place.
It's a very hot place. Just a little bit more, just to go on the overlap. I've put an overlap on mine just to doubly sure that the mixture doesn't escape.
Okay, so you've added, what, maybe an inch, inch and a half?
That is about 1.5 inches, yeah.
Okay.
So now, I'll just tip it up when I've got it sorted. We've now got a lovely lined tin around the outside.
Hey, look at that.
Once we pop the bottom piece in, which we'll just pop a little bit there. There we go. That should just drop in and stay where it is with a little bit of butter mean, it's not going to be a perfect join at the bottom. It doesn't want to be because the heat has to get through. So we've now lined it up. Okay, now we've got our lovely tin lined. We need to add the brown sugar to the base.
Okay, brown sugar, demerara sugar.
Brown demerara, yes.
Yeah.
It's a lovely texture.
The sort you'd use for coffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Posh people put it in coffee. So what we need to do is evenly sprinkle it onto the base, because when we turn the tin back up, this lovely brown sugar will have turned to toffee, and that will be on the top of our cake.
Nice. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
No, let's just sprinkle it in. And then just move it around with your fingers.
Okay. We're using all of the brown sugar.
We are.
Right.
Because it will go back through the apples, back into the cake.
Okay, let's not give away the magic.
Oh, no, let's not.
So that was 60 grams or 2 ounces of brown sugar.
It was indeed.
Right, okay.
It goes quite a long way, actually. So where we are, I can't tip it up because it'll all fall to the bottom of the tin.
We can see it quite nicely. Thank you.
Excellent. So, now that's in there, we now need to sort out our apples. Okay, now it's time to prep our apples. We have 3 lovely apples here. You can use any variety, just 3 medium-sized apples.
They don't have to be cooking apples, do they?
Well, better not cooking apples. Cooking apples are too tart.
Really?
Yes. So what I need to do to start with, I'm going to peel, core, and cut them into slices. Segments, yes. So I'm using a little peeler here. I'll do my first one. You don't see me peel all the 3 apples. So as Mike gets bored, he'll put me on fast forward.
I just want to try and get the peeling in short.
Yes. Yeah. Doesn't matter if the apples have got little bits in them that are a little bit brown, because they will go a lovely caramel colour in the oven. Okay, so we're all peeled now. A friend of mine puts these in the oven and dries them and gives them to the children.
Oh, I put them outside and give them to the birds, but you know.
It's a similar sort of effect, isn't it?
Well, naked apples now.
Yes, I'm just going to bring my bowl in and put my little bits into there. Naked apples, yes. Adam, Eve, and another one. Okay, so now we need to cut them into segments. I've got a snazzy little device here that cuts them into 8ths.
Apple corer.
It's an apple corer and an apple slicer. So just push through.
Fabulous, look at that. Segments and cores all at the same time.
So that's number 1. So Daisy.
Did you miss a bit?
I did. Number 1. They're live. They're ever so slippy because they've got the...
You've taken the skins off.
I have, yeah. They're going, oh, it's cold, oh, it's cold. They're about to get very warm. Okay.
Poor apples.
Poor apples. So...
It doesn't matter if there's a little bit of skin left on it, does it?
No, not at all. Not at all. It makes no difference because when it's in the oven, they'll just go all lovely and soft. Oh.
Caramelly.
Caramelly, they will.
Yum yum.
Okay, so that's the last one cut. See how much easier that is.
Yes.
So, just put that in my water. Okay, they're still a little bit on the thick side, so I'm going to cut them up using a knife into 16ths.
All right, so you're just going to slice the segments.
Yeah, I'm just going to slice them in half again.
Okay, well what we'll do then is we might as well pop it onto fast forward and then we'll join you.
When I've cut them all up.
Exactly.
That's the last one of the apples cut up.
Lovely stuff.
We now need to add the lemon juice, which we've already had on our ingredients list.
What's that for?
The lemon juice will stop the apples going brown.
Oh, okay.
Because if you leave apples for too long, they start to go a brown colour.
Right.
So all we do, we sprinkle it over them. Hands are clean.
Yeah.
Well, they are now. And we're just going to rub the apple juice through, the lemon juice through.
Because of course lemon juice is a very good natural cleanser.
It is.
And bleach.
Right, so we'll get them all covered. If you need to add a little bit more, don't worry about it, just add a little bit more. I've used a tablespoon. You can always use 2 tablespoons, it doesn't make any difference. So now our apples are ready to go in the tin.
Okay. What's next?
Okay, now we need to lay out our little apple segments into our tin of sugar.
Okay.
you will find that you'll have quite a few left.
Right.
Because when you put them in the tin, you need to overlap them like that.
Oh,
Put
okay.
them flat, put them like that. 'Cause you get more in the tin and you get more lovely apple loveliness on top.
Okay.
But you are going to have some left. But I suggest you just eat them. Because they are healthy after all.
Do you remember that saying that we've been trying to say to each other?
It's fruit, doesn't count. little pickers wear bigger knickers.
That's the one.
As I previously said, mine are huge. So but you will have some left. If you've got children or grandchildren, give them to them to eat or eat them yourself. I know I'll be eating them. Bentley doesn't like it, does he?
No.
Bentley is not keen whatsoever on apple. I think it's too natural. That's what it is, Mike. Far too natural for him.
Absolutely.
If you have problems lining it and the apple falls over, don't worry about it.
So I thought you would do it in a kind of like circular pattern.
Doesn't work. The tin is too small and the apples are too big.
Right, okay.
But you can break them up to fill little areas.
Right. Similar sort of thing like you do to lasagna then, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But the thing is with this, is that it's upside down, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So the toffee, the sugar is actually the top of the cake and all the other is below it. So when we pour the mixture on, it just all goes together.
Right, okay. I understand.
So, and these apples will be so beautifully tender and
Yes.
soft.
And of course, we have tried this recipe out numerous times,
3 times or 4 times.
particularly over Christmas while Mum and Dad were here.
Oh yeah. So we'll just line it. Just make it pretty because this is what you're going to see on top of the cake. Fill any little gaps you've got.
Yep.
But you can overlap them. Just means the cake's going to be a little bit thicker. But it doesn't matter. If you want to put them slavishly round a circle, you can do. It's not a problem. It's just got to cover the base and be pretty. And then just a little bit. You can break them up as well. And just put a little bit in there. And I think that is about it. We still have quite a bit left. So, Mike, would you like a piece of healthy?
I'll just see if I can get my hand in and go.
And a bit of healthy for me. That lemon juice gives it that little bit of a zing.
Very tart.
So we now need to mix all our other ingredients up in the mixer. So give me a second.
Pardon us for talking with our mouths full.
Okay, so the ingredients we're going to add now are the 3 eggs, the vanilla essence, the cinnamon powder, the butter, and the caster sugar.
Excellent stuff. You're not going to put the shells in, are you?
And my egg. You can use a hand mixer, oh dear, or a hand whisk, oh dear. But I'm going to use my lovely, lovely artisan mixer that Mike bought me 5 years ago. I adore this machine and I adore the colour.
Yes, cobalt blue.
It is, no longer available I think. Right, okay, so what we're going to do, we need to add our ingredients. So we'll pop the butter in first.
Okay. All of the ingredients, so it's all of the butter.
Yeah, all of the butter.
He says over the clanking.
Sorry, it's got a little bit warm in the studio. So I'll just...
The studio.
Sounds good, doesn't it? It's going to get a little spoon.
We're in the kitchen.
We're in the kitchen. It could be a studio. It could be a very luxurious set. So I'm going to put the butter in. It really needs to be quite runny so it's going to be easy to mix. So you don't want to make life difficult for yourself.
No.
There we go.
There's more people out there trying to make life difficult for you than trying to do it yourself.
You're not kidding. Okay, the eggs. We need to put the yolks and the whites in. So it's not like a meringue where you're just going to put one in.
So basically, you're just cracking the egg and putting the whole lot in.
I am.
Yeah.
Our friends in the US, a lot of people crack them over a bowl just to make sure that they're not in a bowl to make sure they're not off. Or...
Yeah. There is a way of testing your eggs before.
Well, that was good, wasn't it?
It was completely.
Yeah.
There is a way of testing your eggs before in water, isn't there?
It's better. Yes, there is.
You drop your egg in some water. If it floats, don't use it.
These are quite thick, are these eggs?
Mm.
Fortunately, it was 2 very large bits of egg, so I got it out so easily.
The shell.
Shell, yeah. So then we'll put our cinnamon powder in,
So your ground cinnamon.
our vanilla essence or extract, there's all different sorts. This is just from a supermarket. There's no need to buy really expensive. I don't see the point.
No.
People have the beans and scrape the seeds out.
Absolutely cold.
And can't be doing with that. And then just the castor sugar is going to go in.
Okay, what do the Americans call castor sugar?
The castor sugar in the US is called superfine.
Right.
Okay, so excuse the noise. We'll just let that mix for a minute or two.
Okay.
I won't talk over the top.
Engage.
Engage. The idea of this is to get loads of air into it, which will make it really light when it goes in the oven.
You're using your paddle.
I'm using the paddle. The KitchenAid comes with 3 attachments. You've got your bread hook.
Can't see that.
Can't see that, sorry. Can you see it there?
Yes,
Bread hook and the whisk.
but you're using the paddle.
I'm using the paddle. The whisk is great for meringues and soft biscuits and cakes, but I use the paddle because it's so much easier to clean.
Okay. For no other reason than that.
Okay, so that's all nicely mixed up. Now we need to add in the flour. So we've got both sorts. We've got the plain flour, all-purpose, and we've also got the self-rising. Thank you, it's my glorious assistant.
Glorious. Glamorous.
Deluded. So I'll pop that in there.
So which are you putting there?
I'm putting putting both in together.
Right, okay.
The all-purpose and the self-rising.
Right, so the all-purpose is just plain flour.
Yes, it is, just plain flour, yeah.
Do you need the milk?
Not until we've got it all mixed together.
Okay.
I'm not sure why, but that's what happens. There we are. As you'll see from the mixer, you can see it's very thick and gloopy.
Nice.
But it doesn't want to be thick and gloopy. It needs to be quite runny, which is why you add the milk.
Ah, I see.
The reason it has to be runny is it has to go down between the apples.
So it needs to be viscous enough for it to...
Slide through the
Not
apples.
viscous, that means thicker, doesn't it?
It needs to be
runny
thin enough. Runny enough, yeah. So now I need to add the milk. I'm just going to add a little bit at a time. 2 reasons. One, if you put it all in, it might be too wet. And B, if it hits you'll end up wearing it yourself if it hits the beater.
Not a good idea.
So I'm just going to pour a little bit in first, half of it. And it will slacken the mixture off. Top tip, if you're ever making biscuits or cakes and you put the ingredients in and they're too dry, never put water in. Never ever put water in because it will go really, really sad. Mum used to say sad. I think it won't rise. Put milk in, you'll slacken the mixture off and you'll have no problems. Top tip there. And that smells divine.
It does. Absolutely divine.
Okay, so now you'll see running off the paddle, it's perfect. You can see all the little cinnamon in it, I hope.
Yes? Well, I can.
Yeah, all the cinnamon mixture.
And I've not got my reading glasses on.
Well, that's good. So then, what we need to do then is to get rid of the paddle.
Not really get rid of it. Pop
No,
it.
I'm not going to pop it in the bin or anything. No, just put it in the wash. We're done with it for now,
Okay.
for today.
In for cleaning.
In for cleaning.
I hope I'm not doing the washing up after this.
We have a machine, dear. Although I never put the pieces for the KitchenAid in the dishwasher.
No, bad idea.
Because if you put the whisk in, it's aluminium and it goes all grey and horrible.
Yes, well, you don't want that, do you?
Now, so just slap in the bowl. So now...
Do you want to just spoon a little bit out so we can see the consistency?
Yeah, of
There we
course.
go.
So if you see, you've got a lovely,
Oh yeah, it's flowing nicely.
a lovely soft batter there. And now I'll just move the KitchenAid to one side, and we'll pour it over the top of the mixture in the tin. Okay, so we've got our apples already in there. You see the lemon juice has done its job. They haven't gone brown.
They haven't.
Clever technology.
It is, isn't it? Science.
So we've got our mixture there, our batter. It's lovely and runny. Once you just want to spoon it or pour it over the top, I'm going to pour it, but you can spoon it if you're not very good with your dexterity. It just needs to be able to flow. It's like velvet, isn't it?
It is.
Flowing on top.
Make sure everything, it all gets covered.
Yes, I'm just going to scrape it out. I don't like to waste stuff.
Who does?
Not when it's yummy loveliness like this. Okay, just pour that into there. Come to this side, then you can see it coming out rather than me blocking it. There's not a lot left in there. Let's have a look. I think that's very good for me actually.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're just going to persuade it.
Is that what they call it?
You can use a spoon. I'm using my spatula because I want to make loads of...
Are you like knocking air out? Is it like pouring resin?
It is like pouring resin, but this is edible, hopefully. So what I'm going to do...
Right, okay.
And then just shake it.
Shake it to wake
Shake it all over. Now you see that is perfect. And we're ready for the oven.
I see the apron's gone.
I've dispensed with it, all the dirty stuff's finished. Don't get it over my waistcoat.
Oh, I should think not.
Time to put it in the oven. My oven's up to temperature. 180 degrees C for a normal oven. 160 degrees C for fan.
Yes.
350 Fahrenheit for our US friends.
And gas?
Gas Mark 4.
Excellent stuff. So what we'll do is we'll pop that in the oven and we'll get Mr. Bentley just to pop those temperatures up on the screen for us, and then we'll join with you when it's ready to take out the oven.
Oh, can't wait for the smell. It's time. Right. Where's my oven gloves? I wish this was smelly vision, I tell you.
I'm glad it's not.
Oh, I can smell those apples. Move my phone out of the way.
It's a good idea.
There we go.
So how long are we leaving that to cool?
I think 15 to 20 minutes.
Before turning out?
Before we can turn it out, yeah, because it's still quite spongy and the toffee has to set.
Okay.
Okay, so you saw me take it out of the oven. I've taken the outer ring off and I'm just left with the base. Fortunately, the outer ring hasn't stuck and I don't think the base is stuck either. Oh, what do you think, Mike?
That looks quite good to me.
Look at that. Put that in.
So obviously that's still got the parchment, the baking paper on top,
has.
hasn't it? So we just have to very carefully
Peel that off. Using a knife just to pop it back down. But all that is toffee on top because that's the brown sugar that was at the bottom, which of course is now on top. So just easing it back down. All this is just lovely baked apple on the base. And it's very, very sticky and very...
It looks extremely
very moist. There we go. Pull a little bit off, it doesn't matter. You're going to lash it with custard.
Or cream.
Or cream, or both.
Custard and sauce on glaze.
Yes. Just pull that last piece off.
It's a very delicate process, isn't it?
Oh, there's a piece of apple come off of there. I'll just put that back on there. See, the apple has become so...
Tender
and
soft.
Toffee and soft, yeah. There we go.
You may have to put it on back after.
Yeah.
It's incredibly spongy.
It is. And a little piece of apple that's stuck It's stuck because it's the
Edge of
toffee
the-
has run down the edge of the paper.
Right.
So our hands are clean. I'll just put that back in there. And there you have the most beautiful toffee cake. Okay, so it's time to cut it now. Take a little piece from the front. Knife just slides. Oh, that's nice. That smells beautiful. I'll just turn it around this
I was going to say, just cut it
a little
there.
bit, yeah.
Overcomplicating
A
matters.
little bit? Yes, I think so. There we are. That looks beautiful.
No, you're making all the right noises.
I am, I'm sorry. Oh. Do you see the steam come off that?
I did.
Just put that there. A little bit of
Extra apple.
extra apple there. Come on, mate. Come and taste it then.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
One thing missing.
Oh, sorry.
This looks absolutely delicious.
Oh, it does. Moist and nice and
Absolutely.
warm.
Absolutely beautiful. Don't best put that down before we finish it all off. So I hope you've enjoyed watching us create that recipe today. If you did, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and leave us a comment and tell us what you thought. And don't forget, the recipe digi-download link can be found in the description area below, because that's a mouthful when you've got a mouthful of
It is,
cake
isn't it?
still. So that's all from us for now. We'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.
Bye
The
for
glasses
now.
have just fallen off.
Oh, never mind. You don't need them to eat. Cooking.